Good evening, my name is Sofia Cordova. In this presentation, I am going to talk about key elements to improve public speaking skills. Using a reference of the advice of Lisa Nichols, who is an expert in personal development, one of the best motivational speakers in news, as well as being an excellent speaker, a businesswoman, and writer. Well, the first thing we're going to talk about is the ability to formulate your voice in a way that allows you to create value in the life of others. In the video, Lisa explains how we can use our voice to make a positive difference in the life of the people around us, making a lasting and meaningful impact of their lives. Because two people can have the same intention and reach very different results according to the way in which they express themselves. For what there is, we must be clear in the way in which we communicated or taught the message and the story so that there is not disconnection. A very important aspect in the way in which you deliver the message, since it makes all the difference, because the thought and action of the person who listens to you depends on it. It's not so much about the words, but the way they are pronounced. Um, Getting further only happens intentionally because success doesn't happen by accident. So every word you say must be intentional. There is a difference between speaking to be heard and speaking to dominate. Unconsciously emphasizing certain points that you want people to understand. It's an art of one's masters. It focuses on inspiring new thoughts, accepting oneself, and giving welcome to new things. It's about inspiring to create a form of action from within the people who listen to us, making them want to stand up, speak, show themselves, and be better. For this, they must look for a topic that they consider important and work on it, and they must know how to listen and have a clear objective, why they want to be inspired, who they want to feel. It's not a skill that should be demonstrated only when speaking formally in front of a group, but it can be applied anywhere with the people we come across every day when taking public transport, in the supermarket, or in the cafeteria. Is wondering how can add value to another person with my voice and my energy. Um, we all have a unique voice which we can use to contribute to others. It's almost like fingerprints, because everyone has a unique and unrepeatable experience in this world. Which brings us to the second point, which is to be authentic with your voice. This is very important since it makes a difference. It's we are authentic, we go to another level. But for this, you have to know yourself and explore yourself. As Lisa said, explore your naked truths. Analyze who you are in the dark of night when no one is watching you, and who you are in front of people, and manage to align both. We must remove those layers of the past that we carry around that tell us that we aren't enough to get to a point where we're all yourself, and don't feel the need to prove ourselves to others. That we have nothing to prove, nothing to protect, and nothing to defend. It's about learning love yourself, accepting that there's nothing in un that doesn't it's perfect. I'm beautiful with him own in the imperfection. It's knowing that we are totally complete and that our goal is simply to be the best possible version of ourselves. And once we manage to do that, we can open up to others and be transparent. Share with them our most vulnerable part, our fears, problems, mistakes, but also our joys, our greatness, and our brilliance. It's losing the fear of being seen as your worst or best, and accepting that you are a complete being and that both belong to you. Once that achieved, we can take the risk of holding them, taking advantage of them, and sharing them with others, so that they too feel that they can open up to us and make a real impact. Not to say that we are authentic, but to truly convert. Mm, Being authentic does not mean being perfect, but rather being honest and sharing our expresses in a genuine way. Finding our voice and authenticity is a process that takes time, but it's valuable process in finding our happiness and success. Um, to continue, we are going to talk about the importance of the essence of the story. So, um, stories are a powerful way to convey message and emotions to others. They allow us to connect our deeper level and create a more authentic and meaningful relationship. Mm, but for this to happen, it's important that we show a message of an experience, being honest about our emotions, even if they are uncomfortable or difficult to share. Because by doing this, we can inspire and motivate others to be honest and authentic too. It's important to have a purpose, to know what we want to cover and to make sure that every detail contributes to supporting that purpose. In real life, we must know who to adapt and know that they can trust us is any environment, and that it in any way we will manage to enrich our experience. Stories are the bridge that connects out hearts and allows us to find our common ground. When they tell you a story, you don't fall in love with the intellect of the person who tells you, but with the story that the provider on intellect shares with you. And the similarity isn't the intellect, but the journey. History brings us closer. Through stories, we realize that we aren't so different. We decide to learn from others based on what they teach us and what they show us. Telling our own stories, it's something that takes time. One doesn't start out being a master storyteller, but little by little, it begins to demonstrate a little more. Each time, one will share more empty regions, that place of mastering in which everything becomes sweeter, in which each experience tastes a little better, and it which you're eager to discover a new experience that every soul. Sometimes we think that we don't have amazing stories that move up, uh, but it's really isn't like that. We all do, but there are some that we disguise. It's a moment or are inside in time. But after we go through the confusion period, we can discover that a difficult moment can be an enlightening situation in our life. They are those stories that began when we were children, that we lived through, and that at the time we could not connect the dots. But that left us with that experience, and years later, we become aware of the lesson. It was a challenge that required sometimes of us that we didn't even know we had. So, in order to overcome it, we have to discover something in ourselves. By telling those stories, we unlock a feeling of intimacy with others, a feeling of truth is our common ground. We manage to unlock about between ourselves and others. And now, let's talk about the importance of finding our voice and using it to create our legacy. Our history leads us to our legacy. Our life is finite, but our legacy is infinite. So, Visualizing how wanting the people around us to remember us helps us consider own contribution in life. Knowing what you have done with your time, your energy, analyzing how your relationships with others have worked helped you to create a legacy. In the video, Lisa proposed the exercise of imagining that we are no, that we are at our funeral, and that we imagine the face of the people who share with us, our acquaintances, family and friends. Um, she tells us to imagine how we will love, how we forgive, how we get up when we fell. That's it. How was the life of others affected by our birth? The answer to that it's our legacy, a legacy that we are building every day by day, by the way we live and the way we speak, because of words shape our life. Since we all have a unique voice and story to tell, it's critical that we find our own voice and use to its positively impact the life of others, as by doing so we will leave a lasting and meaningful legacy in the world. So finally, we are going to talk about the importance of the body in speech. Since when you listen to a speaker, you only hear his words, but when you feel the speakers, it's because the person has involved his body language. And body language conveys managing to strengthen language through movement, enrich the experience. We are intellectual beings who has expressions, feelings, passions, communications. Is a full body sport. So we must use don't only your head, but or whole your body. According to Lisa, when we eliminate movement in a speech, the impact of message decreased by more than 70%. It's a lot, and there's a difference between telling a story and showing a story. When we only tell it, we are limits ourselves, but by using our body, we give people to the opportunity to experience different emotions through movement. While you speak, you must be aware of how your feet move. What is the position of your arms, how your hands flow with the words, allow your voice and your body to act as one. To feel the person who hears you and sees you who are with you, even if they aren't physically present at the time. Mm, we must get fully involved. Our body is an important indicator of how we feel and how our life is in general. So it's we aren't careful with our postures of movements, we can send to wrong message. Well, that was all. Thank you very much for your attention.